I have a question about perceiving the perceiver.
Okay.
How?
How? Yes, how. Let's go back a little bit before we come to this question, no? How we arrive at this question. You come to a place where you see that even your life, as you believe it to be, is as you conceive it to be. Everything you have said, yes, this is, you agreed with something or you believe in something, and these all came in. Something pressed save, and this collection of impressions, together you are calling your life. Everything that the senses bring in all this information, and they are perceived. If they're not perceived, they don't register at all that they even appeared. So something is perceiving them in you. Whatever the senses and the mind bring, it is perceived. Some things are not accepted, some things don't register, some do. Okay? So we come to the sense that there is some core that perceive, which is the heart of the perceiving. So the functioning of perception is going on, and there's awareness of this functioning of perception. Is true or not?
Yes.
Yeah. So the act of perceiving, the things perceived, and also the perceiver, they are like one total functioning. So this total functioning of perception, of the senses, the mind, projection, the functioning of memory, imaginative powers, intellect, all of these, they are perceived. The sense of the perceiver, occupying the role of the sense I perceive all of these. That intimate connection between the perceived and the perceiver, all that itself is perceived. You have agreed, yes, it is true. They are perceived. That which perceives, a personal perceiver, a qualitative perceiver, and its interests, that which perceive them, can that be perceived? This was my question. Meaning, all that you perceive adds some quality that is discernible. Whether it is red and heavy, or tall and slim, or dark, or whatever, they have some qualities and you say, yes, I can perceive them. That's the way in which the mind is acting as really the interpreter, the measure of variety and projections, all of this function. But all of this is perceived to be happening. And the one who appears to perceive them, that one also is perceived somehow. Not as necessarily a particular entity. Maybe it takes the shape of a body and the sense of an identity in there, perceiving, but that is also perceived. That which perceives them, can that itself be perceived? Meaning this perceiving, which is without any bias, it doesn't want anything, without even the intention, everything is perceived. It is aware of the functioning of perception. Is this a perceiving place? Is it tangible? Can it be seen? Can it be photographed? Does it have form or shape or size?
No.
No. And who says no? Who perceives it to know? Let's slow down a little bit. The answer came spontaneously. No, it is without size, without shape, without form, without design, without color, without quality maybe. What knows this? Another perceiver? What knows it? You didn't even have to think about it. You said no.
The answer that's there seems like awareness, but it doesn't bring, how do you perceive the perceiver in knowing that, I'm getting ahead of myself, sorry. The awareness, I guess, is the answer that seems to be to your question.
But if you say awareness knows it, I am rejecting this answer because it is of the form of a concept. Awareness at the moment is just a word, awareness. And it's just a word you threw out to see if I'll leave you alone. Yeah? So awareness knows it. So, yeah, awareness is, but what is saying awareness? Is awareness. Even if you said and believe that, does it satisfy you?
No, that's why I'm up here.
Yes, you see. And you are what? Let's slow down. I'm not in a hurry. I prefer something truthful than something fast. You are what? Who would recognize such an answer brings no satisfaction. Don't imagine.
I'm just hearing all the thoughts, and I'm knowing none of those thoughts are the answer.
Slow down a little bit. Say again.
I'm hearing all the thoughts.
You're hearing, perceiving all the thoughts.
Yep, and I know that none of those thoughts are the answer.
You know that none of the thoughts that come is the answer. Because any conceptual or mental answer will not satisfy. It will not satisfy. Even the question, who am I, cannot be satisfied by an intellectual, theoretical, or mental answer. If it cannot be answered in this way, what is the purpose of the question then? There must be something more profound than an intellectual answer. It's not university. It has to be, the answer to this question must come in the form of an experience or some insight, some revelation. It has to be something more than just something conceptual. If it's merely conceptual, something is going to accept or refuse it. What is this something?
The thoughts, the mind.
Again, these are words. The question is being put. You didn't put the question about football or anything. You're asking the most important question perhaps in the human kingdom. Because something is ready to receive or to understand, to go beyond the surface consciousness, to really experience the answer. A mere conceptual answer will not satisfy. And you know it also, it won't satisfy. You see? Because you reminded me of a question I put to you. Can the perceiver be perceived, you see? The perceiver is that in which all that is possible, that is sensationally or sensorily possible to perceive, is caught in the net of perception, you know. Sometimes I've asked you, are you yourself an object in front of the lens of perception, or are you behind the lens of perception? And if so, as what? Or are you both that which is appearing in front of the lens of perception, and simultaneously you're also behind it? What do you see? All that you mention of the senses and the mind and time and space and names and forms, they are objects effectively appearing in front of the lens of perception. Who is the perceiver of them? What is it? the answer must be closer than intimacy. If there's an answer. If there's an answer, who will receive the answer? I want to meet the one who received the answer. And perhaps the answer that kills every question. Who is it who wants to know this thing?
I feel like it's my mind.
My mind, my and mind, mind then is put in the form of something possessed.
Yeah, like my person mind wants to know that answer, like
Yes.
who.
My imply I and something that I have. It's my mind. Yes, but who are you? You can watch mind also. You speak about mind. My mind was confused. Who are you to know that? From where are you looking to see mind, confused mind? Don't ask the mind for the answer to this. You see, the fact goes in front of the exploration actually. The fact is already stated. It is seen. If it is seen, my simple question, who is the seer? And any answer you give is presenting another form, another name, which is also something perceivable. It is, I won't accept it as the seer. Who is the seer? How will it be introduced? As a concept or something else? Who are you who is asking?
So in that last question, you're saying that it's definitely not my mind who's asking.
Huh?
In that last question,
Yes.
you're stating in another way that it's not my mind who is asking.
Well, perhaps it is your mind is asking. Maybe the mind is asking. So if the mind is asking and you say, okay, listen mind, you go over there, okay? Because this is not about you. You want to know these things. Then apart from the mind, who are you then? The mind wants to know something. Huh? And you? In your statement, you are not implying that you are the mind. Say, maybe it's my mind who wants to know. You've passed it on. Actually, you are the answer. You without you. Not the constructed self, which itself is phenomenal, but the pure consciousness, beyond the concept of pure consciousness, if you follow me. I hope you do. Not the words, not the concepts, saying concept, beyond the concept of concepts. I'm sorry about the words at the moment, I have to use them like that. It is simpler and simpler. The language itself is really to support duality. It finds it extraordinarily difficult to point to the single thing which is beyond duality. This is why it seems difficult. It is you, but not the you that is a psychological entity. It is you as the pure, supreme consciousness. It is the perceiver, you see. I didn't want to give this answer. I wanted to hear it. Can the perceiver be perceived? Why this question? Why this question?
Every retreat I've been to, you always touch on it, and I've pondered on it before, but it always seems to go in the background. Like,
Yes.
why? Why do I stop thinking about it? Why do I?
Yes. Let's try again. Can the perceiver be perceived? First, you must come to a certain understanding that the perceiver is necessary. It must necessarily be there for the act of perception to register. The perceiver must be there. The sense of a perceiver must be there. Who agrees this is worth keeping, this is worth discarding? This registers, this does not register. This is, I am happy, I am not happy. You see, that perceiver who is interested in what it perceives, can be said that that perceiver also shares in the quality of the things it wants or likes. It is not the ultimate perceiver. Do we get this far? Yeah. So if this is knowable, if this, what I said, is knowable, it implies a deeper space in which there's perceiving, a wider perceiving, less personal or impersonal, in which the sense of a personal perceiver connected with the perceiver's world is itself seen. In this deeper space of perceiving, you see. Who is there as perceiver? Can the perceiver, this perceiving, is it done by something that is tangible? Can this perceiver be like the character at the end of the yellow brick road, where finally the curtain is pulled and there's a little man, ah. Can the perceiver be something like that? Can it be a form discovered as you? Then if I say, it is you who is behind all of this, then who am I who see you behind all of this? Immediately this one would also become another phenomenon on the screen of all phenomenality, and I am the witness of them. If I am the witness of them, can I witness myself? I gave example before. Imagine a knife that is so sharp that it can cut so many things, but it cannot cut itself because it is one whole, or a scale that can weigh so many objects, but it cannot weigh itself because it is one. Or the eyes that can see so many things, but they cannot see themselves. It's the same. You are perceiving all, but yourself you cannot see. Saint Francis of Assisi, he says what? What you are looking for is already the place you are looking from.